since you clicked on the video, you obviously want to get better at Fortnite. And I get comments all the time what my top tips would be just to get better at Fortnite quickly. So I'm going to share those with you today. And even if you are a Fortnite veteran or you already are good at the game, I promise you there will be something in this video that you will learn. I have some secret tips in this video that I've never seen anybody speak about before. So make sure that you watch the video all the way through. All right, guys, so hopping right into tip number 1. And this one is going to be in our settings. So we're going to go to our controller binds, and then we're going to press our right trigger. We're going to get to our build controls. And what we're going to do is we're going to come right down here to our right stick, and we're going to change this from rotate to crouch and slide, but not crouch, slide, and repair. And what this allows you to do is crouch and slide while you have your build mode open. And this is super underrated because let's say you have your build mode open and you're trying to tunnel in tarp and you accidentally screw up your edit and you make a door and you just want to go right through. You can crouch while having your builds out, and people actually underestimate this one, and it's a big one. Once you're used to it and once you have it on for a while, you will understand what I mean. It is extremely important. But now, guys, we're going to move into tip number 2. Now, if you don't know by now, controller settings are extremely important. So it should be your number 1 priority to find the best settings and best sensitivity for your play style. And this has to be the most frequently asked question that I receive because the controller settings menu can be that confusing. So we're going to go through my controller settings and I'm going to show you if these are right for your play style. We're going to start off on the look horizontal and look vertical speed. Now, most pros use anywhere from 40 to 45% on this vertical and horizontal speed, but I recommend keeping it on the lower side. I've been using 40% for years now, and it's absolutely the best of both worlds when it comes to having good aim and having good crosshair placement when you're outside of your build mode. And I do want to have a little side note there that is important if you do edit with your pickaxe out, just like this, or your shotgun out. And for my build and edit sensitivity, I use 2.0. 2.0 is a great middle ground as well. I highly recommend it, but it also might not work for you. So you need to find what would work for you and test settings. You got to test these out. If you put on my settings and you feel like these are just maybe a little bit too fast, or they might just be a little bit too slow if you play non-claw or non-paddles and can't seem to build fast enough, come to your settings and adjust these up by 1 or move them down by 1. But this is very important. When you do adjust your sensitivity, make sure you do it by just 0.1 increments. So if I still felt like 2.1 was still too fast, I would bring it up to 2.2. And that also goes for the horizontal and vertical look speed, okay? If you're still feeling like this might be a little bit too slow for you, bring both of these up just by 2. Don't bring them up by 1, just try 2. And I recommend you giving those a shot in game or in a 1v1 map or maybe in a PvP map of some sort. Aim trainers are great, but you're really going to want to know what these settings feel like matching up against another opponent. And a lot of other people also ask me why I don't use boosts. I don't recommend them because they take way too long to learn. But boost ramp time, I do suggest for your ADS speed, which is your look down sight speed right here. And you can mess around with this as well in game, and you can adjust this up and down as you like. But I also recommend pairing that with an 11% on the vertical and horizontal ADS speed. This aim down sight speed allows me to hit beams like this, so I highly recommend it. And of course, if you're not playing linear, you're just putting yourself at a disadvantage. Linear is going to be much better when it comes to building and editing and other mechanics in the game. But if you're a zero build only player, I actually would recommend exponential, but otherwise stay on linear. And people also ask me a lot about my dead zone. I use a 5% on the right stick, and I recommend that for anyone. And a lot of people ask me this question, Takeoff, I have drift on my controller. Well, as you can see, I also have drift on my controller. And the reason why this controller drift doesn't affect my aiming or my mechanics or just my regular gameplay is because my finger is always on this right joystick. I never have to take it off to do any building, editing, or any other mechanics. But if that isn't the case for you, then I recommend you getting a new controller or turning up your dead zone. And that's going to wrap us up for tip number 2. And for tip number 3, you're going to get all of these new tips and all of these different changes that you have, but where do you actually go to really practice and actually improve at the game? The absolute best way to do that is by using creative PvP maps. And in my experience, I improve the most whenever I play Zone Wars. Unlike box fight, piece control, or just regular 1v1 maps, you can't take full control of your fight. It'll make your fights completely random and will make you push your opponent much quicker, which is really good practice if you actually want to get better at this game. So I decided to make my own rapid Zone Wars 1v1 map, and I really only use this map because it's rapid, and right when you get an elimination, you're right back in the game. And when you put all the tips together from the rest of this video and you start to see that improvement when using this map, you'll start to understand exactly what I mean. So here's the map code for you to actually start seeing some good improvement pretty quickly. And if you have any changes or suggestions that you want to see made in this map, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. Now, moving right on to tip number 4. This one is also going to be in our settings. So we're going to head over to our game settings. Once we're here, we're going to to scroll down until you find auto confirm edits. And once you're at this setting, I want you to come here and turn this on both. The reason why you want this setting on both is for whenever you go to reset your builds, all you have to do is press your edit button, which is a paddle for me on the back of my controller, and then your reset button. And once you hit your reset button, you don't have to reset and then confirm the edit. So it's really easy to be able to quickly reset your builds without having to confirm them. But there's actually still a better way to be able to reset your builds, and it's with a controller scroll wheel, just like this. There's two controller attachments that have completely changed the way I play Fortnite, and one of them is my controller scroll wheel and my control freaks, as you can see that I'm using right here. And if you're willing to pick up a controller scroll wheel, it will absolutely change the way that you play this game. And yes, it's still way better than just reset on release. The reason being is because whenever you pull out your builds, all you have to do is just flick down and you have an edit completely reset. And no, this is not sponsored. I will leave a link down in the description if you do want to pick up my controller scroll wheel or pick up my control freaks, because both of those have been absolute game changers. But even if you don't have a controller scroll wheel, reset on release will absolutely change the way you play this game. And if you thought that tip was good, just wait until we get later into the video. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how to properly set up your loadout for controller. And this is extremely important because you want to make sure you can get to the right weapons as soon as you possibly can. And as you know, on controller, you have to swap through all of your items to be able to get to that right weapon. But there's a way to make this even easier and faster so you never get lost in your inventory. So we're going to go into our settings and we're going to go to the game settings and come down here to preferred item slots. Your first slot absolutely has to be your shotgun, because whenever you're building, and let's say you have your pickaxe out, or even you're going to go take an opponent's wall, right when you put your builds away and then click your bumper, you will automatically be on your shotgun. And this also goes for the same thing with an AR. So you always know that your left bumper after you put your builds away is going to be your AR, which is your spray weapon. So you could be always building around with your pickaxe out and then always know just a tap of the right bumper is your shotgun, or the tap of your left bumper is going to be your spray weapon. And we're also going to make it super easy to get to your SMG as well. We're going to put that on the right slot. So whenever you shoot with your shotgun, let's say there's somebody inside of this box here, right? And we're going to shoot with our shotgun. All you have to do is shoot and then take your finger and press the one bumper and boom, you're at your spray weapon again, which is your SMG. And if you're using your shotgun, you're going to want to use your SMG as your spray weapon and not your AR, obviously. So it makes it super easy. You just shoot and then switch. Now, slot 3 is going to be our consumable. And the reason why is because it's dead center of your inventory, and that is going to be a non-combat item. So we're going to use that slot for our consumables. And right to the right of that, we're going to have our utility. And our utility item is going to be in slot 4. And it's pretty much the same idea with our SMG. If we're building around and we're taking our pickaxe out with our build mode or whatever it is, and we want to quickly get to our utility item, all we have to do is press our left bumper twice, 1, 2, and we're right at our utility item. That could be the grappler, the Spider-Man mythic, the Aaron Yeager mythic, whatever it could be. That is going to be the best spot for your utility. And the last thing I'll mention about the preferred item slots is this controller scroll wheel. I have my scroll wheel reset down to reset my builds, but if I flick up on my controller scroll wheel, it takes out my shotgun. And if I'm boxed up and I'm healing and somebody comes to automatically push my wall, all I have to do is just quickly flip up and I'm right at my shotgun. And that's the same thing for my build mode as well. So all I have to do is have my build modes out and then flick up and boom, I'm at my shotgun. And that's just another reason why I like this controller scroll wheel. But like I said, it isn't mandatory. It's just extremely helpful. Now, before we get into the really important last tip that not a lot of people know about, I did want to quickly throw out some honorable mentions. And one of those being obviously that you need to play claw or have paddles. And it kind of sucks to say, just not using paddles and not playing claw, you are simply putting yourself at a disadvantage. So you totally need to. And the next honorable mention is to use slow mode so that you can hone in and practice your crosshair placement to really get down those building and editing drills that are just hard to do. And if you need a map that has slow mode, you can use mine right here. So here's the map code so you can practice that. And the last honorable mention is to practice what you're bad at. Get comfortable with getting uncomfortable and go practice certain things that you're not good at. For example, if you need to get faster edits, go run an edit course and practice your editing. If you're really bad at zone wars, go practice zone wars. If you know that your crosshair placement isn't good, go practice with slow mode. Practicing for 20 minutes each day on something you're bad bad at will increase your skills so quickly, and you'll even surprise yourself. But now let's get into that last and final tip we've been waiting for. And for that last tip, we're going to jump into our settings. Then we're going to go to the game tab, and we're going to come to Mantle Activation. And instead of having this on hold forward, we're going to keep this on hold jump. Whenever you have your Mantle Activation on hold forward, if you just walk up to a wall, you'll just automatically mantle that wall. And it'll definitely get you eliminated like it did for me when I first started using mantles. But when you have on hold jump, it'll give you the option to double jump and then you mantle. And you want to make sure you're manually mantling and not automatically mantling, because you will automatically mantle when you're not wanting to. And mantling is extremely important. We've all fought that one player that is just super good at mantling, and they always throw you off by jumping up to your builds and you can't even hear them. And it's simply because they're good at mantles. And that's simply another reason why I like to practice zone wars, is because you get to practice those mantles and it'll help you increase your overall skill that much more. So in conclusion, make sure you're using hold jump. But guys, that's going to be all I have today. I will have my map codes in the description for you guys to make it easier for you to go check those maps out. And the control freaks and scroll wheel will be down there as well. And also, if you made it to this part of the video, I want to see who the real ones are and who actually watches my full videos. So go in the comments and comment 200K, because guys, we're growing so fast. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers and we just hit 100K. Absolutely insane. I can't thank you guys enough. And as well as if you have any video ideas or anything you want to see from me, let me know down below, because guys, I'm going to be cooking up a ton more long form videos and I really want to make videos for you guys and what you guys really want to see. And guys, if you want to know why you're not editing fast on controller, click this video, because I talk about a really cool secret on how to edit faster on controller. So go ahead and click that video and I will see you in there. Thanks again so much for watching to the very end. Much love. Peace.